What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my hip hop review. This your boy Reg here, and the album I'm about to review today is Too Short's excuse me, his sixth studio album, Short Dogs in the House, released in 1990 on Jive Records. Um, yeah, man, fucking Short Dogs in the House. Finally got my hands on this album, like you guys saw last week's CD update and shit like that. Um, Singles albums known for are Short but Funky and the Ghetto. Producers, he got like a lot of cats this time. He got Too Short himself, Sir Jinx, Pierre the Beat Fixer James, Keenan the Maestro Foster, Al Eaton, and DJ Pooh. Alright, so after the release of Life is Too Short, Too Short, well, let me say this. Born to Mac may be his most influential album. Life is Good may be his best album. But this is the album where it re-cemented him, in my opinion, and shit. Because this is the album that really started pushing like a lot of units and shit like that and stuff like that. Excuse me. So after the release of Life is Too Short, he toured with NWA like I mentioned, and he was really started to he was really started to like want to expand more of his sound and shit like that. So with that being said, he started experimenting, more different producers like Sir Jinx, who I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sir Jinx is Ice Cube's cousin. Let me look it up. No, 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 no. He's not Ice Cube's cousin. I think he was just a friend of Cube and shit like that. But yeah, yeah, I think he's Dre's cousin. I always get it mixed up, but yeah. So and then around the early '90s of hip hop, hip hop was going through like a transitional period and shit like that, and a lot of hip hop and was the West Coast was of course dominated and shit, and Oakland was really getting big and shit like that. When it came to hip hop, Too Short already having two very successful albums under his belt. Well, three kind of this album. Digital Underground dropping the Sex Packets album. Not just hip hop, but then you have people like En Vogue dropping the Born to Sing album, which, in my opinion, that's their best album. In my opinion, Funky Divas was cool, but it had a bit too much New Jack Swing in that album and shit. Tony dropped the Revival album, which very dope album, very slept on album if you ask me. But one rapper from Oakland really skyrocketed and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He really skyrocketed, and he cemented hip hop as like a genre to stay. MC Hammer. Yep. And we don't even need to discuss, Please on Him. We don't even need to discuss like his success and shit like that. So, and also, around this time too, him and Too Short were beefing around this time too, which I want to talk more about towards the album and shit. So yeah, Short Dogs in the House was released. Also, whenever you get this album, be very careful if you want to get the split version, because with track number 8 right here, if you see it, ain't nothing but a word to me. It's actually not. I mean, it's there, but it has like a lot of bleep sound effects, like beep 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 and shit like that. So yeah, man, like be careful when you get that fucking album and shit. So yeah, man, fucking Short Dogs in the House, very dope album cover and shit. Had like a very cartoon album cover, which I'm gonna be real. If this album cover kind of influenced, like the Doggy Styles, and it would later, also influence, the No Limit pen and pencil, album covers and shit like that. So yeah, all right. official unraveling. If y'all couldn't say that and shit like that. By the way, the song that's playing in the background is called "It's Your Life." Very dope song. Um, so yeah, just like I said, very dope album cover and shit. Um, just him. With Jive Records, they don't always like do too much with the album booklets at times and shit. Um, Short Dog right here. I want to say this cat. I want to say, yeah. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't know if y'all can make in the comments who this cat is. Y'all can make in the comments and shit. Yeah, this is what the CD looks like. Alright. And also with this album too, he kind of steps his game up too when it came to the songs, because the previous albums like Born to Mac and Life is Too Short, they had like I think about 9 to 10 songs around that range. Where this album had about like 13 songs. So yeah. Alright, so with that being said, let me pull up more of my notes. Yeah, this is gonna be a very fun review. I can already tell you guys that right now. Alright. Alright. Let's get this shit started. Oh, and by the way, there's only one guest appearance on this album, and it's actually Ice Cube, which I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. So, alright. So track number 1, Short Dogs in the House. Very dope song. Nice way to begin the album. It definitely has like you can already tell like the difference between like the sound and shit like that. It's a lot more funkier, utilizing more like P-Funk samples and shit like that. Yeah, man, very dope song. Track number 2, It's Your Life. Another good song and shit. This song's actually on the Boys in the Hood soundtrack. I don't even need to explain Boys in the Hood, legendary movie. Rest in peace to John Singleton, by the way. Yeah, man, very dope track. It's Your Life and shit. Talking about gangster life and shit. And it was also around this time too that he was, with like the crack epidemic during the early '90s. He wanted his music to kind of have like more positivity in it. He didn't always want to like talk about the sex rhymes and shit like that. So I felt like that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I felt like that was pretty interesting and shit. So yeah, man, that's fucking In Your Life. I'm gonna pull up some lyrics right quick. Very, very dope beat too. I love those horns and shit, man. Like, some lines that he said was, "It's all about losing what you can't get back, cause the name of the game is to control your life, and all the things you must do them right. It's not my life, it's on you, baby. What's really going on is that cash money. How you make it doesn't matter to me. Work at McDonald's or just sling them keys, or you can be like me and go straight legit. Drive a brand new Benz and they can't say shit." Like, very dope song, like dope line and shit like that. Um, I don't know why this shit's not even on vibrate and shit like that. Alright, and the next song, which is actually one of his signature songs, if you ask me, The Ghetto. Love this song, man. Like, very dope, very dark and shit. Self-explanatory, is talking about the struggles living in the ghetto and shit like that, hoping for a better life. You can definitely hear the Donny Hathaway sample and shit like that. Very dope sample. Rest in peace to Donny Hathaway, by the way. Yeah, man, this is really one of those songs. This is really one of those songs where I mentioned where he was trying to do like a lot more positive, a lot more socially aware songs and shit. And whenever people say that, oh, he always talks about the pimping and the sex rhymes and shit, I always introduce them mostly to this album than this song right here and shit. Like, very good song. And yes, it's on GTA San Andreas and shit like that. Legendary game right there. Um, yeah, man, 600 million on a football team. I'm reading some links by the way. And a baby died just like a dope fiend. The story I tell is so incomplete. 5 kids in the house, no food to eat. Don't look at me and don't ask me why. Mama's next door getting high. Even though she's got 5 mouths to feed, she about to spend her money on the HIT. Like, yeah, man, that shit's so like so graphic and shit. You know what I'm saying? Track number 4, short but funky. Pretty cool track and shit like that. Too Short actually admitted that some guy that goes by the name of Dangerous Dame actually wrote this song for him and stuff like that. You know, Short Dog kind of really just having fun on the mic, but according to like a recent interview that he did with Questlove, he was actually throwing some shots at Hammer on this song too, because like I mentioned in the beginning, they both had like a little beef and shit like that, which I think Too Short mentioned it was pretty much like a competition since they were both from Oaktown. And you know, his label wanted him to do what Hammer's doing with the whole pop rap shit. You know, like some lines that I was kind of jotting down was let me pull it up. Shit, give me 1 sec. Okay, I found it. So he said some shit like, "You never catch me on the mic rapping a dance tune. I like it kinda mellow with the sound of the bass boom. The style is mine, I've been doing it for 10. You might say it's simple, but I'm making my ends. See, I don't trip on a punk 'cause I jacked him. Too Short plus a cuss was equals platinum. What would I look like what would I look like dancing on a stage? I wave my hand and do it like the old days. But some dumb fool wanna take it out of the hand. With $50 million and a fat big old band. That ain't me. I'm from the old school. Play the instrumental, get the mic, and I'm cool." Like, yeah, that's pretty much if you guys really just decode those lyrics, you can really tell he's talking about him. You know, everything from the 50 million to the big band in the background, like as evidence in the that Arsenio Hall performance and shit like that. Yeah, man, like short but funky. Not one of my favorite tracks, but kind of interesting track to begin with. Um, then we have In the Oaktown. Love that track. That's pretty much like a braggadocio track. And yeah, man, that's pretty much a braggadocio track and shit like that. And then we got Dead or Alive. That song actually has a backstory towards it too, because I mentioned in the Life is Too Short review that um there was rumors that he got shot in a crack house and stuff like that. He was high on crack, and in this song he was pretty much like addressing the rumor and stuff like that, saying that the rumors is bullshit. Yeah, he just gonna continue rapping and stuff like that. Like, lines like, "So as the world turns, I'm a living soul. I even heard a rumor that I overdosed. I'm not a reincarnation of something old like King Tut. I was buried in gold. Why would you cry when I'm still living?" Word got out and the rumors start spreading. My mama called one night, said, "Todd, are you alright? The whole family's got the Too Short blues." I heard it last night on the evening news. Like, yeah, man. Imagine if social media was present at that fucking time and shit like that. Because with like certain hoaxes these days with celebrities dying, or they might think a celebrity died or some shit like that. Imagine if it happened when back in the time like this and shit. So yeah, man, Dead or Alive, very dark beat. I love that beat and shit like that. Fucking Too Short made that beat. Yeah, man. Track number 7, Punk Bitch, very dope song. I kind of saw it more like a sex track. I'm talking about this fucking slut or some shit. Short and out eating. They produce a track and shit. Track number 8, Ain't Nothing But a Word to Me, featuring Ice Cube. Yeah, this is probably my second favorite track off this album. Um, yeah, just Ice Cube fresh out of NWA. I think this was this album came out after America's Most Wanted. I could be wrong, but yeah, man, very dope track and shit like that. You know, just talking about the word bitch and shit. Yeah, man, like to me, I felt like Ice Cube stole the show and shit. You know, he definitely stole the show. You know, them talking about woman problems, like this could have easily also been on America's Most Wanted too, because Sir Jinx, he actually produced his fucking song and shit. So that's ain't nothing but a word to me. So, yeah. Track number 9, Hard on the Boulevard. Another track that I've completely forgot about that I fucking love. Very dope usage of the Ohio Players sample. Again, Too Short produced this track. Yeah, man, like very dope track. I kind of saw like more like a braggadocio, sex kind of track and shit. You know, track number 10, Pimpology. Yeah, man, another dope track. I like this track. Man, there's not really any bad songs on this album, man. Like, damn. So, yeah, this track it goes a bit too long. I'll do admit, but you know, it's self-explanatory. Self-explanatory. He's talking about breaking down like the pimp culture, you know, his game, how he breaks through females and stuff like that. Um, that's fucking Pimpology. Yeah, man, and dope usage of the Mac sample. I love dope movie and shit. You know, rest in peace to Richard Pryor, by the way. Um, track number 11, Paula and Janet. Oh my fuck, another dope song. This is probably my favorite track on the off the album. Yeah, DJ Pooh. Man, that nigga is so fucking underrated. He produces fucking track. It's depending on who you ask, it's kind of a controversial track because he named this Paula and Janet, and legend has it that people thought he wrote this about, you know, Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson, you know, two of like the biggest pop stars at the time. But you know, I don't think he mentioned it. I just felt like he just wrote names down and shit like that. He just spits like a quick fucking verse about how these beautiful, classy women, you know, they fuck behind closed doors. They have like a freaky side, pretty much and shit. You know, yeah, man. Like lines like, "I said, bitch, if you're fine, it's my dick. Enjoy playing. Who the fuck is this?" She said, "Janet." I said, "Oh, met the bitch last week at my show. I told her call me and I gave her my card. She talked dirty and my dick got hard. Then I fucked the bitch 3 times straight. Next week we made another date. I gave her a concert and she came backstage." Like, yeah, man. Very dope track. One of like his storytelling too, man. He don't get a lot of shine when it comes to his graphic storytelling and shit. So yeah, man. Paul and Janet. And the last official track is Rap Like Me, which is like a track that goes like about 7 minutes. Where yeah, I see it another more of like a braggadocio kind of track too. Yeah, this track is pretty straight, pretty solid. You know, yeah, man, like fucking dope. And then he ends it off with a reprise of the Ghetto and shit. So, and that's all the songs off this album. Overall, this is one of my favorite Too Short albums. Very dope album. Love this album. Um, yeah, man. When it comes to like a lot of hip hop heads, they don't really talk a lot, give this album a lot of praise. I've realized that because you know a lot of hip hop heads they like to say Born to Mac, Life is Too Short. But you know, with this album, he really stepped his game up with his pen game, song conceptions and shit like that. What else? What else? What else? Production played a huge part. You know, a lot more funky, a lot great use of P Funk samples and shit like that, mixed in with the fucking TR 808s, TR 808 and shit like that. Yeah, man, like not a bad track. You can just play the whole fucking album all the way through, not skip a fucking track and shit like that. So yeah, man. Very dope track. Very dope album. Short Dogs in the House. Yeah, man. This album might be a bit hard to come by in CD, but from all my vinyl heads, they've actually re-released it and stuff like that 2018. So if you guys see this album, must have in your collection. And yeah, Shorty the Pimp, man, that's gonna be a fucking live review, man. I've been having like a lot of a lot of fun, reviewing some of his work. So stay tuned for a lot more. All right, so before I end off this vid, I want to also give my thoughts on The Lost Tapes 2. This is not like a full-on second review. This is just my thoughts. So I'm gonna say it, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So it was decent. It was decent. It wasn't anything, in my opinion. I didn't really feel like it was anything special to begin with. Because he's been talking about The Lost Tapes 2 for a while. He's been talking for a while. He had to, like leave Def Jam. Don't y'all know the drama with that? With the Def Jam and shit like that. So, and The Lost Tapes 2, they go from albums Hip Hop Is Dead all the way through the Nasir album. So that's kind of like, if you guys, watch my channel, that's kind of like a shaky period. When it comes to Nas. So yeah, man, there was literally 5 tracks I really liked from this album. Now, when it comes to the beats, it's like some of the beats were good. It was just boring. Like the album was just boring to begin with. Like, okay, No Bad Energy, that was cool and everything. I didn't really care for Vernon Family. Scat Attack was whack. Lost Tapes, Lost Freestyle. Okay, that was solid. That was a dope static selector beat. Tanasia was a dope beat, but Nas kind of ruined it with his subject matter. Royalty sucked. Loved Who Are You? Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites on the album. Adult Film. Oh man, that was trash. Like, what was Swiss? It was like I didn't know what Swiss was doing with that beat. War Against Love was kind of boring. Art of It was my second favorite track on the album. Shout out to Pete Rock. Highly Favored was Queen's Wolf was I. It Never Ends. You Mean the World to Me was trash. Figured it came from Kanye. Queensbridge Politics, that was my favorite track on the album. He's talking with Prodigy. And Beautiful Life was decent too. So, and also with this album, I've been seeing like a lot of people talk about how, oh, this album is like up there with Illmatic and shit. Like, I'm just like, in what way? It just came out. It's not a classic album. Like, it's not anyway. It's not touching the first Lost Tapes and shit like that. And most of these songs should just remain lost, if you ask me. And that's all I'm gonna do. That's all I'm gonna say out on the Lost Tapes 2. Don't expect no full length review on this album. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that. And so yeah, that's it for the video. Like I mentioned before, this is Short Dogs in the House 1990. Must have in your collection. Peace. Subscribe.